Hey guys, my name is Mysca and welcome back to Overwatch Central. Today we have another gameplay analysis for you. This one will be covering Symmetra. As always, I'm joined by Ryan, who will be doing the explaining in this video. But let's kick it off. Symmetra was right at the bottom of the list actually back when we made a video on the heroes that the community were excited for. But the situation has definitely changed. Symmetra is being played a fair bit, and I've had several people say that they really enjoy playing her. So Ryan, what exactly is it that makes Symmetra fun to play, and what does she do well?
Symmetra is a really fun hero for several reasons, but I think the underlying thing is that she's a hero with a completely different pace and playstyle to typical shooter class heroes. Overwatch really succeeds at having heroes of different playstyles. You don't need to be a Twitch shooter to be a good Overwatch player, and Symmetra is a perfect example of a hero that doesn't require that skill. It's no real surprise that she had the highest win rate in the first part of the beta. It wouldn't surprise me if she still had the highest win rate now. The ability to give her whole team a little shield is important. It's not a lot of health, but in a team versus team match, that's 250 extra health, which may be the difference between winning and losing. Her weapon is fantastic. Similar to Winston's, it can zone in on nearby heroes, being able to catch fast but brittle heroes like Tracer, Genji and D.Va out of her mech. Not only that, she is able to shoot a strong energy ball that can pass through barriers such as Reinhardt's, Bastion's and Winston's, which is a complete game changer. More so I think than her teleporter, especially on capture point maps at least. It almost completely negates Bastion and Reinhardt. Bastion is immobile most of the time, so dodging a Symmetra orbs will be very difficult. Reinhardt is often in situations where he's protecting his team moving down a narrow choke. So if you're shooting orbs down there and you have several sentries set up, you're making it very difficult for them to move forwards. Gonna give the enemy team fewer options when pushing. In fact, most maps with a capture point mechanic will have these chokes to protect, and Symmetra could do so very effectively. But if the enemy team are able to break through somehow, you may run into trouble.
Yeah, Symmetra is always a target in the open areas of the map, so she really needs these tighter sections to work efficiently. But what more can you say about the map and how to use it to your advantage? And when is Symmetra the right pick?
Well, for example, we've seen Symmetra used at the start of King's Row on defense a couple of times in tournaments so far. Why? Because for King's Row, it's a very long run from spawn for the defending team. So the teleporter can be very important. Not to mention there are plenty of areas to set up sentries so you can protect certain areas. But once capture point A is taken and the map changes into a payload game, most of the time you see the Symmetra change to something else, like a Zenyatta or a Lucio. Unlike capture point objectives, you're constantly losing ground. You can't really set up an area to stand your ground unless you're really on top of the enemy team. The capture point maps, she can always be a solid pick, but once the objective changes to a payload and the enemy team start to snowball, you might want to change hero because you need to be organised and very mobile. So if the enemy team are pushing forwards quickly, you may struggle.
So keeping the map in mind and especially the various sections of it is important when choosing to pick or not to pick Symmetra. But what other things should you not forget when actually playing her? Any particular weaknesses that you want to emphasize or highlight?
So these issues are much more situational, but Symmetra tends to get caught up by these a lot more than other heroes, because she's a team player, similar to what we were saying about Mercy. You may run into issues if your team is having a hard time gaining control of the map already. There's only so much you can do as a Symmetra to help your team, and if they aren't playing objectively or they just suck, this puts more pressure on you. And this applies to most heroes of course, but I feel that Symmetra could end up hindering her team far more than helping them when problems like this happen. Take a step back and quickly analyse the situation. See if a teleporter or sentries would be game changing enough to stay as Symmetra. On the subject of her teleporter, charging up her ultimate in some situations just doesn't suit her playstyle at all. So let's paint the picture. You are defending, you've set up all of your sentries in perfect positions, everybody is shielded up and you have about 30% ultimate charge. The enemy team isn't really pressing the objective and they're kind of just fighting outside the main area with one another. For you to charge up your ultimate, you need to go and get involved in that fight, either dealing or taking damage. It's like D.Va not having her ultimate charging over time when she's out of her mech. The only time she'd be able to charge it is by getting involved in fights, which will probably end up with her being killed. You spend so long trying to charge up your ultimate at times that when the enemy team actually do a big push and take out the rest of your team, you don't have your teleporter up to get them back in time for the action, and you end up losing the match. It's an incredibly frustrating experience. Although I will say that the buffs that Symmetra received in one of the latter patches has helped in terms of her being more involved and even playing Symmetra on offensive maps. But she is far from optimal for those big fights.
And that's it for this time. Thanks for watching this video. Please tell us what your thoughts are on Symmetra. Do you feel like she's well balanced or not? And are you excited to play or maybe even have played her? Discuss in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed this gameplay analysis. Drop a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on how you feel, so we know and we can improve. Subscribe to not miss future videos. We're going to be covering the new changes coming up and much more. But until next time, see you and take care.